Welcome to the Legacy Suite, real talk for leaders who want more than just results. I'm your host, Brin'na Rollins Williams, and this is where we go beyond the title and into the real work, building magnetic teams, leading from fullness instead of depletion, while creating a legacy that you can actually be proud of. Whether you're navigating burnout, leading through uncertainty, or just trying to figure out how to show up as the leader your team actually needs, you're in the right place. In this suite, there's room for everyone at my table. Let's dive in. Hey, it's Brin'na. Welcome back to the Legacy Suite. And today we're talking about something that nobody prepares you for when you step into leadership. Something that costs you way more than time, more than energy, and honestly, more than most people are willing to pay. I'm calling it the leadership tax. And if you've been in leadership for any amount of time, then you probably already know what I'm talking about, even if you've never heard the words leadership tax before. So let's get into it. Here's what they don't tell you when you get promoted. They do tell you about the salary increase, the bigger title, the expanded responsibilities, the strategic impact that you'll get to make. But what they don't tell you about is the tax that comes with it. The isolation, the decision fatigue, the emotional labor of holding space for everyone else's stress while you have nowhere to put your own. Let me paint a picture for you. You're in back-to-back meetings all day. Every single one requires you to be on. Be present, be strategic, holding the room, making decisions, managing conflict, motivating your team. And in every single one of those meetings, someone is looking to you for the answer, for clarity, for direction, for reassurance. And by the end of the day, you are completely drained, not just tired, you're depleted. But you can't show it. Because leaders aren't supposed to be tired, right? Leaders are supposed to have it all together. So you go home and your partner will ask, "How's your day?" And you'll say, "It's fine." Because you don't even know where to start. And honestly, you don't have the energy nor capacity to explain it anyways. That is the leadership tax. It's the burnout that creeps in so slowly you don't even notice it until you're sitting in a car parking lot with your hands shaking and you're unable to go inside. It's the isolation of being at the top with no one to process with. Because your team can't hold your stress. Your boss doesn't have time nor wants to. And your peers, they're all pretending that they have it together too. And sarcasm is really good medicine. It's that constant weight of knowing your decisions don't just affect your team. They affect your team's livelihood, their families, their mental health, that's a lot to carry. That's a big burden to bear. And here's the thing that nobody really talks about. Most leaders carry that alone. And I know I did. When I was at Target, I thought the solution was to work harder, longer, be stronger, figure it out, push through. And I told myself if I just got better with my time management, if I could optimize my calendar, if I just learned to say no more often, the burnout would just go away. But it didn't, because the problem wasn't my schedule. The problem was my energy management. It was coming from a dysregulated nervous system. And I know the word nervous system is thrown around left and right, but I was operating in survival mode, fight or flight, freeze or fawn. Ugh, people pleasing. Every single decision felt urgent. Every conflict felt personal, even when I know it wasn't. Every challenge felt like a threat. And when you're in that state, you can't make clear decisions nor lead effectively. You just can't. In that state, you're reactive instead of responsive. You're people pleasing because you're afraid of conflict or to add more to your plate. You're micromanaging because you're terrified of losing control, and your team feels it. They mirror it, and they burn out alongside you. So here's what I hope you hear today. The leadership tax is real, but you don't have to pay it alone. And you definitely don't have to pay it with your health or your relationships or your sanity. And here's what actually helps. First, name it. Stop pretending you're fine when you're not. Stop telling yourself that burnout is just part of the job. It's not. The leadership tax is real, but the chronic burnout is optional. Second, build regulation into your day. I'm not talking about the self-care Sundays or a bubble bath, which could be a part of it, I guess, but I'm talking more about energy management in the moment. I'm talking about nervous system regulation, practices that help you shift out of fight or flight and into a regulated state. And for me, that's breath work before any high stakes meeting or conversation. I walk between back-to-back meetings and calls, even if it's inside my house when it's raining. That's 5 minutes of silence before I exit for the day to go home, so that I can go home and not bring the stress of my work life into my personal life. Those are small intentional shifts that might not seem like they make a big difference, but they do. They make a really big impact. Third, find your people. You need other leaders who get it, who understand the tax, who can hold the space for your stress without you having to explain it, nor try to fix it. That could be a coach or a mentor. That could be a peer group. That could be somebody that does not work in your industry. But you cannot do it alone. Because here's the truth. Leadership is lonely, but it doesn't have to be isolating. If you're listening to this and you're feeling the weight of that tax right now, I want you to know something. You're not failing. And you're not weak and you're not broken. You're just carrying a load that was never meant to be carried alone. And if you're ready to stop white knuckling your way through leadership, I would love to talk to you, because I work with leaders who are tired of that reactive leadership, who want to build legacies instead of just surviving every day. Leaders who are ready to lead from a regulated nervous system on a daily basis instead of just survival mode. You can find out the details at legacyfulfilled.com or just send me a DM on LinkedIn or Instagram. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. Thanks for being here. If this resonated, share it with a leader who needs to hear it. If you want more, head to legacyfulfilled.com for free resources, or follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram. And if you're ready to stop white knuckling your way through leadership and start building something you're proud of, let's talk. See you next week.